You are now joining the meeting.
Hello, everyone. This is Derek. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay, great. We just got done with practice here, so I'm going to hand the phone over to Coach and let him make some opening comments, and then he'll take your questions on Wisconsin.
Yeah, obviously, disappointing the way the game ended on Thursday night, but I thought we did a lot of really good things throughout watching the film, probably even more so than I thought live. Thought we made a lot of progress. I thought that was really encouraging at both ends of the floor. Now we've got to build on that and clean up those things that we can control. Then there's some things you can't control. We've talked a lot about you got to let those things go, got to move on. Guys have done a good job of that. Had a good meeting yesterday, good practice today. And, obviously we got Wisconsin tomorrow, who's won 3 in a row, playing typical Wisconsin Badger basketball, running the swing, posting the ball, taking care of the ball, defensively, getting better. I watched some of their earlier games versus some of their later games here, and they're really improving. I really like their interior play. And then obviously Koenig is a big-time player in the guts of games. He's proven that over his career. He's been in big-time games and has made big-time shots for them. So, it'll be a great challenge for us, but we're looking forward to getting back out there. When you have we're certainly not going to let it discourage us when you have a disappointing loss like we had Thursday night, where disappointing from the standpoint that we didn't pull it out. Those are always tough when you put your heart and soul into something like that. It should sting a little bit, but we understand that we can't allow that to have carryover, and we've got to look at it for what it is, make sure that we improve and get better, learn from the film, move on, and be focused with our preparation for Wisconsin. I think the guys, really beyond the shadow of a doubt, did that the last day to 2 here. I thought they really showed some maturity with that. Questions?
John, this is Mark. As you look at tapes of Wisconsin, is there anything Greg Gard does that's sort of given it his own signature, his own twist, maybe something he's doing or not doing that Bo did or didn't do that you look and go, that's interesting, that's kind of a little new for them?
Not necessarily new from the standpoint of their history, but for this particular season, Greg seems to be running a lot more of the swing that they used to run more of a while back, and then obviously they're playing a player or two here a little bit more, maybe a guy like Jordan Hill a little bit more than maybe what they were when Coach Ryan was coaching. But other than that, the bulk of what they do is very similar.
John, it's Jeremy. Ethan Happ, redshirted just like Michael last year. Just what has he added to their team?
I think he's a really good player. I think he's great in the post. He's got great hands, great IQ, can pivot, pass, has great feel, does a great job scoring in and around the basket. It's very crafty. And, in terms of what he looked like last year, I wouldn't be able to tell you because obviously I didn't see him on any film or coach him. But I can just tell you what he looks like this year. You'd have to ask them, hey, how much did he benefit from the red shirt? My gut would tell me a lot, just like Michael. But those would be questions for their staff. I can just kind of tell you what I see this year, and obviously he's a big part of what they do.
This is a little off topic for you, but Adam Fletcher joined you guys, in August when you guys had a lot of injuries. You guys have had a lot of that all year. Just what impact has he made on your program, and how has he kind of attacked, kind of those things that you guys have had to deal with?
Well, the biggest thing is, to be honest with you, I'm anxious for him to get a full year. Certainly not that you can't get stronger or have, obviously a strength and conditioning emphasis in season. We do. We lift, at least 2 times a week, sometimes more. But that's a different type of lifting than spring, summer, and fall lifting where you're really trying to put on size and all those different things, because that becomes more of a focus. He has not had that opportunity to do that yet with any of our guys. Having said that, I think he's made a major impact, not only on the strength and conditioning part in terms of what we're doing, but he's very intelligent when it comes to nutrition, sleep, flexibility, all those things that go into building a complete player. So he's great with all that stuff. And then the fact that he's played the game, he has a great feel for what it takes. The fact that he's, won championships, played in the tournament, he's done all those things. His mindset, he's a competitor. The guys know he's a killer in terms of his mindset and his attitude towards things. He was one of the most competitive guys I coached against when I was the head coach at Ohio when he played at Miami. So he brings a lot of those things to the table, great knowledge. I'm looking forward to, what he can do when he has some of our guys for a full year.
Thank you.
Yep.
Are we back to day by day with Thorne?
Yeah, no, and I don't see that changing a whole lot. But again, I've gotten to where part of it is obviously, and certainly not just at Illinois, but across the country. When it comes to stuff like that, that's in the hands of the trainer and the doctors. I mean, they tell me where he's at, where the knee's at, and they call the shots on all that. And that's the way it should be. So they'll let me know. Right now, he's still day to day. Trying to monitor soreness and swelling there and make sure we're doing the right thing with his body, with his knee.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, this is Scott. In the last two games, the final 5 minutes of regulation into overtime, the team showed you're missing out that toughness that you want. What do they need to do to do that for 40 minutes? What maybe do you as coaching staff need to do to help them get that kind of
I think
that
sure.
level?
Yeah, I think you can point it out, first of all. It's like any other thing that you're wanting to correct or a habit that you want to get better at. You first of all have to have awareness. And, for us right now, it's more about talking to them or showing them clips as well, not just talking to them. And, obviously you build a relationship. They trust what you say. But it's one thing when they see it. Maybe you're showing defensive possessions in the last 5 minutes of the game on Thursday night versus, let's say, the middle portion of the second half. There was a different, just a different intensity level that we had there late in the game with our man defense when we got 10 stops in a row. We've got to have that more, that sense of desperation where you almost feel like someone's holding your head underwater. And I felt like we had that when we were down 13 and obviously made a, very, very gritty comeback. So, we obviously want that more. Every coach does. I think every coach would tell you they would, rather take consistency over, a splash of greatness.
Yeah, one more thing. As the Big Ten season's kind of been win-loss for you guys, have you seen any frustration set in with the players that they haven't been able to string a couple Big Ten wins together?
I think those are normal emotions. I talked to him about that yesterday. If you're disappointed after Thursday night, that's normal. If you're frustrated, that's normal. If you feel stressed about that, or that's normal. No one can, in my opinion, say those things don't exist for any and all of us when we're in situations where we work like we worked on Thursday night and it doesn't go our way. I don't think that means you're not mentally tough. It just means, are you going to choose to feed those thoughts? I've talked a lot about that before, whether, there's, I've read the book, John Gordon's book, The Positive Dog. There's a positive dog and a negative dog inside of all of us. And the one that's going to come out the most is the one you feed the most. And for us, we choose around here to feed the positive and feed the things that we did well, address the things that we did not do well, come up with solutions as how to correct those, and then we move. And that's what you've got to do. I think that's what successful people do. It's what successful businesses do, successful teams do. And is that challenging when you're 18 to 22 years old? Sure. But that's why we're here to help them. If they had all the answers, they wouldn't need us. It's called coaching. So, I think for us right now, more than anything, if those emotions existed at certain times, sure. I mean, you put a lot of time into this. The guys do, our staff does, support staff does. This is important to all of us. So I think what you got to understand, though, is that you can't feed those, and you've got to understand that it's not going to get you anywhere. Having, whether it would have been a win or a loss on Thursday night, allowing that to have carryover and spill over into your prep for Wisconsin would be foolish, because each game's different. None of them are exactly the same. So that's what we've been telling our guys, and I think they really embodied that the last day or two. And, I think it's making them even tougher mentally, and it's probably a reason why we've had a little bit more grit here lately, and we've been able to withstand certain things during games and challenges, and obviously that's progress.
Any final questions for Coach?
Thank you, John.
Okay, I don't hear any.
No problem,
See you
guys.
guys tomorrow night. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep.